Hello everyone, welcome to Onyx Earth Tarot. Everything you need to know about me is in the description box below. So we are back with a pick a card reading. This one was a request, so I was intrigued. So I was like, let me just put this one out just to diversify the content on the channel. So we have a bit of a relaxing theme here. I have a little bit of a background music to kind of soothe the energy of the overall video. And if you did not select your pile in the intro, I do have it laid out traditional style like I used to. Pile 1 from left to right is the Smoky Quartz, pile 2 is the Fluorite, and pile 3 is the Selenite heart. So if you didn't select it in the intro, I'll do it again for old time's sake. I'll give you a moment to select your pile. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. All right, pile 1, if you selected the Smoky Quartz, then this is your reading. We're going to use all 3 of the decks that you saw in the thumbnail and in the intro and when you selected your piles. So we're going to look at your blockages, emotional or otherwise, and how to clear them, how to release them, how to overcome them. So let's see, pile 1, emotional blockages and how to overcome them. What's this? 6 of Cups. Okay, so right away, a lot of your blockages, which may be a bit cliche, but, and you may know this already, pile 1, but it's past baggage, it's expectations, it's trauma, it's the things that, I want to use the word regret. Okay, so the blockages that you have, emotional and otherwise, it's all surfacing on regret, mistakes, wanting do-overs, wanting to not repeat cycles, not wanting to repeat mistakes, repeat trauma, and going out of your way to avoid situations that you feel are reminiscent of those past experiences. And it's one thing to grow, it's one thing to evolve and to develop, but it's another thing to hold yourself hostage out of fear every time you find yourself in something that seems familiar or something that triggers a memory, to avoid furthering any type of connection, whether it's with a person, a situation, a place, anything that reminds you of those past experiences that may have been unfavorable, or missed opportunities, you actively avoiding anything that feels like it's heading in that direction. So just be mindful of holding yourself hostage to that past energy, especially as it relates to any childhood trauma and whatnot with that 6 of Cups energy. But it's 100% emotional energy because of the fact that you have the cups, the Suite of the Cups here, and the 6 of Cups. And some of you, it may not even be true past experiences. It could be generational trauma, as in experiences that you've witnessed other people. Like, you don't want to repeat other people's mistakes, whether it's in your family, whether it's friendships, people you admired at one point, or if, you know, if you're deeply spiritual, this could be past life trauma coming into your current life, holding you back. I have, I think, 2 cards. Let me grab them. They hit the floor. Yes, 2 cards, and I will take the bottom of the deck, which let me get this bottom of the deck down first. It is 100% the message that we've been looking at in the 6 of Cups, ironically enough, with the 5 of Cups coming at the bottom. I'll put these, let me get the other cards down first, and then we can look at the overall message and what it's talking about. So that 5 of Cups as the overview, pile 1, is basically saying, it's the card of spilled milk. It is looking at what you've lost, looking at your failures, and not acknowledging how far you've come, the potential, the things that are still available to you, right? 3 cups pouring out, 2 cups overflowing with potential possibilities, opportunities that you're not or haven't been quite ready to step into because of that Six of Cups, because of that dwelling in that past energy, that fear of repeating mistakes, holding yourself accountable way past the, I guess, expiration date for mistakes that you've made. Like, at what point do you allow yourself to move forward, right? And I'm seeing the great thing about that. I don't want to say that it's an easy fix. I'm just saying that in acknowledging that you need to be more present and more forward facing, right? Like the moving forward mantra. The Wheel of Fortune is in the middle, right? That's a very fixed energy of the fixed energy you've been in, but it's also the opportunity to spin that wheel into a new direction. Like, you don't have to be stuck, you don't have to dwell in the past, you don't have to be who you used to be either, right? Like, holding yourself in an energy of, this is who I am and this is who I'm always gonna be, if that's you. Or even if you're not consciously realizing that's you, moving into that Wheel of Fortune, spinning it in a new speed, a new direction, pushes you into that Five of Wands. Now, traditionally, it is a chaotic energy of fighting, but it's more of a fighting for who you are trying to become, fighting for your future, fighting for your opportunities. It's an energy. It's a very, very creative energy of I don't want to say organized chaos, but it is chaos because you do have two fives on the table. It's stepping into the unknown without trying to control it, without worrying about what happened, right? Preconceived notions I'm hearing about opportunities and situations and connections that are entering your life or will enter into your life. Just going into it without knowing what the outcome should be and allowing it to fall into place as it should. Okay, so I'm gonna pull I don't want to pull quite yet. There's so much coming from your cards. Let me finish with this and then I'll pull. I only have 2 decks and I only want 1 card from each, but there's a lot to unpack here, Pile One. It just feels like a fear again of the unknown, a fear of a lack of control, a fear of chaos. But again, it seems like there needs to be some sort of upheaval, some necessary chaos that has to come. Not necessarily the tower, but like an awakening that kind of pushes you out of that past energy, because you're constantly in a fixed state of looking back, comparing now to the past, but not even from like a positive, look how far I've come perspective, from a negative perspective. Like, you're constantly replaying where you should be or who you should be and where you're not, right? That Five of Cups energy of being a Debbie Downer, a half empty individual. Like, you've got 2 full cups overflowing with all that you've achieved, but you're only focused on your perceived shortcomings. Okay, so that is your main, I want to say, setback. That is your main blockage. That is what's holding you back from whatever it is you feel you need to overcome, whatever situation you're trying to persevere through, whatever accomplishment you're trying to seek, connection you're trying to call in, whatever it is that you're trying to step into, this is what's holding you back from it. That fear and that holding on to that past. Because I'm trying to find the words to say it. Like, it's like on the tip of my tongue, and maybe it is the case for you. Holding on to the past in the way that you are, it's basically, I don't want to say that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but you're not allowing yourself to grow into who you're meant to be. And like certain opportunities, you're denying yourself, whether it is professional, intellectual, romantic, friendship-based. Like, you don't feel like you fit into certain places, certain situations. Like, this isn't who you are. Like, you don't see where you could fit because you're so fixed in that past identity that you're not allowing yourself to morph into a new one. Like, you're not evolving in that Wheel of Fortune at the rate that you need to be, at the rate that you like to be. And it's almost like a denial that you can even have all that you're working towards, that you're trying to manifest, that you're praying for, that you've hoped to achieve in this life. Again, whether it is material success, emotional fulfillment, or a combination of both, you've been denying yourself that because of being so fixed in whatever that identity, that ancestry, that past life trauma, those past expectations, outdated thought processes that you've been clinging to. Does that make sense? So let me pull from your cards now, because I didn't want these to be that long, because the reality is, once we tap into what it is that is the blockage, it's very clear how to overcome. But also, it's one thing for me to say it. That's why I have the healing music in the background. Once I say what the blockage is, you have to comprehend, interpret, and hold it in yourself, and really understand it, and really move on eliminating that, working through it, right? We can say something, you can understand like, oh, I'm clinging to the past, but until you consciously have that awakening of, I don't want to repeat that anymore, it's not going to progress. What's this? What are you being called to journey to? Right? Here's one. So again, holding yourself back in the past. I don't want that like that. Let's do it like this. Okay. Holding yourself back in the past. I want two from each deck for whatever reason, so we're rolling with it. But what are you being called to journey to, pile one? What are you being called to move past? Let me see if I can get one more. Here we go. Exactly. Okay, you have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So we've talked about so far past energies, past trauma. Like I said, a lot of you, it could be ancestry based, it could be generational baggage, it could be past life trauma. But again, it could be a religious dogma or religious baggage, especially since we have the reference to Christianity here with the grandmother of Jesus. It's just this past, whatever that past energy is, it is calling you to move beyond it. So what I'm seeing here is who you were was a pivotal step into who you are meant to be. You're kind of in limbo. You're kind of in an in-between right now, and you don't have to be. There's no reason. You don't have to completely forget the past energy to move forward. You just need to no longer cling to it, right? It says seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. That past energy was a critical step into who you're becoming actively in this moment and who you will be in the future. You needed those experiences. You needed that energy. You needed that ancestral baggage to enlighten you and to show you ways so that you can, what's the word I'm looking for? So that you can evolve beyond them while still having that foundation, right? At the bottom, you have dance, do something to shift your vibration. So maybe you're taking yourself a little bit too seriously, pile one. It's feeling like you need to not constantly be in work or heal or both mode. Do something fun, right? Because one of the things I like to do in that 5 of Cups card is compare it to both the 3 of the Cups and the 2 of Cups, because it's like a counter 3 of Cups, not in a 3 of Wands, not 3 of Wands, 3 of Swords way, but it's like 3 of Cups is like having fun, being out, being social, enjoying life, and the 3 Cups pouring out in this 5 of Cups, it's like it is, oh, woe is me, nothing is working. And again, even though I still have 2 cups in the back, they're supporting me, there to give me all that I need. Okay, so make sure you're having fun, make sure you're enjoying life and not just dwelling in the past, anticipating the future, and just allowing the present to pass you by. Make sure you're actively experiencing your day-to-day, okay? So let me see if I can get 2 from this deck. What's that? Okay, Child of the Cosmos. That's a really beautiful heart chakra lighting up card. It says the intelligence of the universe lies within you. So you know what it is that you need to be doing. You know what it is. You just have to be open and receptive to it. in that Wheel of Fortune, not always seeing things, not always worrying about what's going to go wrong in that Five of Cups, the anxiety of the Five of Wands. So those fives, their anxiety, their dwelling, their pessimism, not allowing that energy to really hold you back. So far at the bottom of the deck, you do have surrender to sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. The exact message that I'm conveying, but I'm not going to take it because I want one more, and then we will take the bottom. Okay, here we go. And then we're going to close out your reading. So you have, it's interesting because when I was shuffling and then I stopped in the very beginning when I picked up this first deck before I got that card, I saw this card, but I didn't take it. Okay, so we have heart chakra lighting up, and we also have the throat. So listen to your heart and find your voice. Allow yourself to speak the truth that you need, especially what you need, right? What you need in connections, what you need professionally, what you need intellectually, all the things that you need that you're not speaking from the heart. Make sure you're doing that, because that is also a blockage, because you're not speaking your truth. You're not getting your needs met because you're not clearly communicating them, and you're not clearly you're not even acknowledging them for yourself to do so, right? So you do have messenger, serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. So love that you got two energies of we're lifting up, rising above, because all of the cards are not like that, as you can see with the bottom of the deck. Pivotal message here at the bottom, but again, throat chakra, heart chakra, make sure you're working towards clearing, healing, unblocking those areas. Okay, look at that, floating, falling, loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. So there's another reference to religion if this is a religious piece. I also want to say that that density, that grip, it's like the devil energy in tarot, wanting to constantly control things, wanting to constantly control yourself, the way you feel, the way you move. Everything that you do doesn't need to be calculated, and that is also a setback. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow and allow what feels natural to manifest. Allow what feels natural to be your natural move. Like, just move naturally, okay, Pawan? Especially with the addiction, if you've been self-medicating in any way, maybe ease up on that, simply because you're not present as you should be. Again, dwelling in the past, anticipating the future. You have to experience the present in order to, one, heal from the past and move forward into the person you're meant to be. You have to experience this life, and it's short, so you want to experience it fully and lucidly, as lucid as possible, right? But definitely be free. Again, child of the cosmos, grandmother of Jesus. You have to let God in. It's freeing yourself, opening yourself up to spirit, whatever your spirituality or religious practices are, just being open and just allowing you to be yourself naturally, organically, without judging yourself or expecting other people to judge you either. Okay, just being free and moving in life fluidly, right? Fluidly. So that is all I have for you today, Pile 1. Hopefully this resonated. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, Pile 2, if you selected the fluorite crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be looking at the blockages in your life, emotional or otherwise, and how to overcome them. I will be using the 3 decks from the intro, from the thumbnail, from the pile selection. So let's see what your blockages are and how to overcome them. All right, pile 2. Let's see. Okay, pile 2. Okay, 3 of Wands. So I will say, if you selected pile 1, that's okay. Some of you select all the piles, especially in readings like this one that don't seem like they're going to be very long. But it's like a mirror. It's not a mirror. It's like a polarity. So pile 1 was focused on the past. You are hyper fixated on the future, right? 3 of Wands. It is the energy of looking ahead, of having prepared, possibly overexerted yourself, like you've done all you could do, you've laid the foundation, and at this point all you can do is wait and look ahead. You have the Three of Cups in reverse at the bottom so far, which lets me know, first of all, 3 is a common, it's a very relevant number for you, pal, too. But Three of Cups in reverse shows that you are literally putting your life on the standstill to reap whatever rewards you feel like you're waiting, whatever successes that are meant to come in, because you feel like it's owed to you. You've put in the work, and nothing really matters until you reach X point, Y goal, Z expectation you've set for yourself. So you're not even allowing yourself to enjoy the day by day because of that hyperfixation on what's to come, what's gonna come in, when it's gonna come in, the rewards that you have the foresight to see. And the Three of Wands does show that you will see success in the areas that you're anticipating, I'll use that word, but you're hyper fixating on them in a way that is, one, blocking you from it, at least temporarily, delaying it, like slowing you down from getting it, because your energy is so fixated on it that it's surrounding that situation, that promise, that opportunity with anxiety. And so that's not a healthy frequency, right? That anxiety, it pushes it further away from you when people talk about manifesting and the law of attraction and whatnot. So let me get more cards, because you can't leave yourself up, I don't want to say in suspense, but like in that, what's the word? I can't even think of the word. Leave yourself suspended, waiting for any future outcomes, future successes. Right, exactly. That is your block. You have the Eight of Cups in reverse, right? Very stagnant energy. You are at a point, the reason why this is a blockage, before I get this last card, is in you waiting for an outcome and now not allowing yourself to experience life in the present. You've stopped your growth. You've stopped your development. You've stopped your expansion. So the reason why it creates the delay, at some point you're going to have to develop, you're going to expand, you're going to grow so that you can reach whatever this opportunity, this outcome, this goal, this situation that you can see in that Three of Wands way out at the other side on an island somewhere. But the thing is, there's a journey to it. There's always a journey to it. You have to take the steps to get there. And even though you can see it now, that doesn't mean that it's going to manifest now or in the near future. So this Eight of Cups in reverse shows your lack of movement towards the thing. You see what I mean when I say you're delaying it yourself? You're sitting in suspense, you're sitting suspended, and you're not growing towards it. For example, if we're talking about, I'll use, a lot of you ask about romance. I'll give you 2 examples. I'll give you a professional example and a romantic example. So if you have a desired outcome, you want to have a certain type of connection, you want a certain type of person, you have an idea of what it is in your mind. Well, you're sitting suspended waiting for someone, or you're not actively dating, or you're actively, chasing very specific individuals without being open to growing, or you're not going out and exploring the world to figure out more about yourself and who you are so that you can find what you like and what you're actually compatible with as a person. Like, what you're seeking in a connection may not actually be what's compatible for you or for your highest good, or what's going to actually make you happy and fulfilled in that type of relationship. And the experiences you're supposed to have in that Eight of Cups, by you living suspended and not taking any action to live your life, you're delaying that progression, you're delaying that growth to eventually find the connection you're actually meant to have that will most fulfill you. Same thing professionally. If you're sitting there waiting idle in a very specific situation, or at a specific company, or in a specific department or whatnot, you're not really actively evolving your skills, your talents, that will take you where you want to go. You're just kind of sitting idle waiting for something to open up versus doing what you need to grow and develop yourself further so that, you know, an opportunity happens. Maybe you're meant to leave that company. Maybe you're meant to switch career paths altogether. You know, maybe this isn't the department for you. There's so many opportunities that you're limiting yourself from because, again, you're sitting, waiting, looking out on at that island, hoping that someone's gonna come and pick you up and take you there, right? Like, that's a metaphor, but you're just sitting there waiting for your ride to that island that you can see out, far out into the ocean, instead of figuring out in that Eight of Cups how you can find yourself in a similar outcome, whether it's that specific one or one that is actually much more favorable to you that you hadn't even seen coming because you've not allowed yourself the journey to explore other potential outcomes. Okay, right? Six of Pentacles is what's currently at the bottom, right? That harvest. It is sharing what you need, getting what you need and sharing it with others. Okay. I will say you have the Ten of Swords in reverse that just slips out very delicately. Okay. And at the bottom you have the Fool, which is the exact energy that you need to step into. Sorry, I am shifting things around. So again, the Eight of Cups in reverse is that lack of initiative, that lack of expansion, right? It is stagnation in its entirety. So with the Ten of Swords following it, right, in reverse, it's showing me, I'm not gonna lie, I have an energy that I can feel from that card, but I'm having issues expressing it. So just give me a moment. It's a lot of anxiety surrounding that card. So it is a fear of failure, right? It is a fear of failure, hence why you're sitting in suspense, wondering if it's going to happen and anticipating it. So that's what's making it difficult to express. There's so much anxiety surrounding that Ten of Swords in reverse, that not wanting to be in that energy of being defeated. Now, here's the thing. Just because you don't move on something that you feel could end badly and that you feel could hurt you, just because you actively avoid those situations doesn't mean that you won't end up in that pain anyway. Like, especially if it's a lesson that has to be learned. I'm not saying you're meant to feel pain all the time. I'm just saying if there's a situation that you refuse to move on out of fear of failure, out of fear of pain, out of fear of being hurt, of any situations, right? I used professional and romantic. Some of you may be here for either or both. I'm hearing academics, right? School. Just because you don't make the move doesn't mean that you're not going to be hurt anyway. You actually hurt yourself for not taking that initiative, for not trying, because again, the Three of Wands that says success is in the future, but you've decided not to even take the action towards being successful. So in not doing that, you've put yourself in, I don't want to say a Ten of Swords, but that suspended energy, which in my opinion is worse, because there's that what if I would have, this could have been an opportunity, I let it pass me by, I could have did that. Like it's like you're kind of initiating a cycle that could lead to lots of regret down the line, right? So with that Fool card, you're being called to, yes, anticipate, yes, expect success, expect to go where you want to go, right? Don't let go of the foresight, right? The Three of Wands is good energy. What's not good is that Eight of Cups in reverse, that refusal to move forward without just wanting to sit there waiting for it. So the foresight is not the problem. It is the stagnation that you've allowed yourself to settle into with that expectation, okay? And also that fear of failure, because that Fool is just going without a care. It is, let me just go where I need to go. Yes, I have a vision, I have a goal, but I'm open to other opportunities. I'm open to other possibilities. I'm open to other connections, right? And I'm not worried about trying to control my development, because I'm getting that energy now with that Eight of Cups, right? Trying to control the journey, not even if you're not sitting idle. You've stagnated yourself by trying to control every step of the journey, because the Eight of Cups is a natural, it is a fluid progress. It is not trying to calculate every step. Okay, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to go there, and this is the only school I want to go to, so I'm only going to apply here. This is the company that I want to work for specifically. This is the title that I want. This specific salary, this specific location, this specific place, this specific person. When you get hyper specific with outcomes, it stagnates you. So just be open and be receptive, right? And don't be hyper fixated in avoiding the Ten of Swords, because that actually puts you in the energy of the Ten of Swords. Like, by actively avoiding things that you feel could lead to failure and trauma, you're actively creating an energetic frequency within yourself of failure and trauma. You're actively attracting that energy to you because you already have that mindset. So nothing can ever go right, because you're a pessimist by nature at this point with this energy. So everything is wrong even when there's some light there. So just don't be that person that actively anticipates like failure, that avoids potential success out of fear of that. Okay, whether we're talking about academics, professional, connections, romantic or otherwise, step into that full energy of just being open and doing what you need to do. So let me pull from these these two oracle decks so we can get some messages for you, Paltu, and we can close that up. All right, see what we can get. And pile one, I got two from each, but we'll see how many you want. Yep, I got two. So let me see what's at the bottom. I don't take it, but we can still see. Okay. It feels like the Tower. You have the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? That's a question to ask yourself, a very important one, pile two. And then you have don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? So I'm getting a little bit of introverted energy, especially since I saw some references to not being very social, doing things for pleasure, kind of working and then waiting for the work to manifest actively, not going out, not really wanting to engage. Especially Ten of Swords reverse feels like someone that may struggle with communication, makes you uncomfortable. But again, don't dim to fit in. You are who you are. You have very unique skills, talents, a unique personality. Allow yourself to be who you need to be, to step into that full energy so that you can reach that Three of Wands that you're waiting for. Okay, like, be open, expressive, explore, right? Explore in the Fool card. You have to, if you want to reach that vision that you have. Okay, you have to explore. You can't shut yourself away. Don't dim to fit in, right? Dim is the darkness. Don't hide from the light. Okay, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. I see some of you are trying to find all of you actually are trying to find your place in this world, and that is what it is. What are you clinging to? Like, the foresight is who you want to be, where you want to be, your tribe, like where you see yourself, the family you envision, and whatnot. Some of you very specifically are on a journey to a family, whether it is your actual family, you finding a family of your own or creating one, or just soul tribe, like the community that you want to make your home. All of you fall into one of those categories, and you may have a very specific vision of what that is. And I'm here to tell you, you have to be open. If you're trying to find your way back to your true family, like if you're in a strange place, like if you're in a different country, or if you're in a different city, if you're away from your family and you're actively trying to find your way to them, just be open, okay? That may not be your path. I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm saying the path you're trying to take to get there is not the right one for sure. You have to be open to deviations on that path. And you may not be meant to be near your blood family. You may be meant to step into an energy of being closer to a soul tribe of some sort, like a new community, putting down your own roots in a new place, right? Especially those of you that are in various countries and cities and whatnot. Those of you that it's not a blood family, you're trying to go out, you're kind of in that isolated energy, that introverted, super independent energy. You're looking for your home where you will either start a family, start a family, or find people around you that become family or like family. So just be open and be flexible in your goals, okay? Because this is coming through as a blockage. You're very fixed the nature of where you would like to end up and with who. Okay? Especially the how and the who, like all of the specific details. I'm not saying you can't be specific in your manifestations. I'm saying you're very specific down to the T about the way you'd like it to end up, and that's not it's not how that happens, okay? So let me see if I can pull two. I got one. Ooh, I've never seen this card. I use this deck not that often. It's still, I don't know if it's new, but I don't use it that often. But look at how beautiful this imagery is, right? The clouds. Is that a person? I think that's a person, or maybe a tree. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, these are people entries. Got it. Okay, so it says trust the timing. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I thought that these people were trees is literally a message for you. Like that's you. You're becoming, like you're standing in place so long that you're like growing branches. Like you're becoming a tree. That's how idle you are. But it says trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. So if you're chasing something, you feel like you're running out of time, you feel like you've been somewhere too long, you've been doing, it's not the case. Trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, especially if there's this blockage that you need to work through. I honestly can foresee you being stuck in a situation, whatever that is currently, until you become more receptive to outcomes that are not as specific as the one you want. This is a lesson on faith. It is a lesson on openness. It is a lesson on finding yourself and being open to possibilities that may be more favorable than what you think would be the best outcome, okay? At the bottom you have Star Brothers, Haru Energy, Protection, Loyalty, Safety, Trust. So you are fine. And I think you find it interesting that that's so far at the bottom when we're talking about like soul tribe, family, finding your way to people, okay? So let me get your last card and I'll look at the bottom and get another message. There we go. Okay, so at the bottom you have Well and Orca Elders. Share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. I love that energy. So we're talking about the throat chakra now. We're talking about speaking and being better with your words, and that 10 of swords reverse. It's not a clear communication, right? The Fool is ruled by Uranus. It is it's a unique energy, ironically enough, with the don't dim to fit in. It's be who you are. You're different from a lot of people, but Aquarius energy is an air sign. It is expressing yourself, right? Share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. Part of your healing may be music. I find that how to often has music in my readings. So if you're a person that watches my readings often and you often select pile 2, this is definitely confirmation for you, because that's my pile that always kind of has the musical inclination. So maybe you need to be listening to some healing frequencies, some binaural beats. I actually have some in the background right now, just diving deep into who you are to help heal through some of what is leading you to have such a fixed perspective on what you feel your outcome should be, okay? And I am kind of getting a little hoarse for no reason. I have not been doing this reading that long. But yeah, maybe music may be helping you diving deep. So maybe dive deep within yourself to figure out your feelings and whatnot. So the card that is actually your card that hit the bottom. Oh my goodness, I did not know this was a card. So I love it when we're talking and then we get confirmation with the card. So the card that hit the floor, look at that. And it says all paths lead home. Okay, all paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition. Hold on. Sorry, I have, ironically enough, I have my music playing on the TV. So I'm like, it's shifting and I don't want it to be loud. But anyway, it says all paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. Okay, all paths lead home. So again, if we're talking about home and whatever home means to you, whether it's home, like actual home, like home, place where people that you love are, home where a certain someone is, home where you're hoping you're called to a specific place, just hold your horses. All paths lead home. So just be open. You're going to be led to where you're meant to be. Okay, you're definitely going to be led to where you're meant to be. So that is all I have for you today, Pile 2. Hopefully this resonated. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, Pile 3, if you selected the Selenite heart, and it is a necklace, so that may be relevant for some of you, then this is your reading. So we're going to be looking at your blockages, emotional and otherwise, and how you can overcome them. So I am just gonna shuffle. I have cards that are already jumping. I don't think that I'm going to take them, but I'm a bit nosy, so I'll look at them. The Tower, the Five of Pentacles. Okay. All right. Some of you, this is about money. It's about money. Which is funny because I had some, I was trying to give you an overview of like, some of you are moving in haste before you have all of the facts, because right now I'm trying to say, hey, I'm going to be using the 3 decks from the intro and whatnot. And immediately I'm getting financial hardship or a perceived financial hardship, right? So if that is what is happening for you, Pile 3, sit tight. We will talk about it. Okay. So let me, get a good shuffle. I did cleanse this deck, but for whatever reason, I'm wanting to really get a good shuffle for this pile. So let me see what's going on with Pile 3. What are your blockages, emotional and otherwise, and how we should overcome them? And I'm hearing baby steps. The time on your clock right now is 1, 2, 3. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna take it. I had 3 that came out at the same time. I wasn't ready. So I have 1 that came out, 9 of Cups in reverse. So that talks about 1 or 2 things. Okay, it's all about pleasure. It's all about indulgence. That card. It's all about personal fulfillment. Some of you, I'm hearing 3 different energies. You are overindulging. Okay, you're overindulging, possibly a little greedy, like, you know, the traditional depiction of that card is someone that's surrounded by lots of luxuries, lots of snacks, just stuffing themselves. So you may be overindulging in some way. That may be a key to your financial hardship. Others of you are overextending, right? So you're either overextending as in sharing too much and not leaving enough for yourself, or you're being super stingy with yourself, as in you're not allowing yourself that personal fulfillment, that personal pleasure in that 9 of Cups. So you fall in one of these 3 categories, and possibly 2, right? You may be super stingy with yourself and be overextending to other people. You may be overindulging and overextending to other people. Some of you are overindulging in one area, being super stingy with yourself in another, and still giving too much to others in various ways. So you can fall in various combinations of this category, but that is the key to whatever, especially that financial hardship that I saw coming through, that's happening currently or recent past, right? Towers is something that crumbled, okay? It was not sustainable long term, therefore it caved. So that is what are we're talking about habits, we're talking about behaviors, and it's all affiliated with your personal fulfillment, okay? How you are feeling within yourself. So let me get another card. I don't know why, I'm just really shuffling it up for pile 3. So there's a lot to unpack. Look what came out. I cannot get away from this card. Look at this Tower card. Crumbled. It was unsustainable long term. Okay, unsustainable long term. Some of you needed this very specific message. It was unsustainable long term. So if you're wondering why you're currently in whatever situation you're in, or why you're recently had a situation, or if you have the foresight, you can tell something bad is not bad. I don't want to use the word bad, but you can tell that a lesson, right? Spiritual lesson is right on your horizon. You can feel it. It hasn't quite hit, but it's coming. That's if it, again, wasn't recent past or present. That this is why that 9 of Cups energy that you've been living is unsustainable. It has to crumble to make way, right? It has to crumble to make way to a more stable foundation for you. Okay, now again, a lot of you, it feels like it was money related, because that was the 5 of Pentacles that had came out with that Tower card. But if we're not talking about financial hardship, we are talking about spiritual hardship, emotional hardship. Whatever it is you've been doing, it's not sustainable. Whatever situation you've kind of been pretending is fine, you kind of liked it, but I'm feeling like all of you here knew that whatever it was you were doing, it was not sustainable long term. You just didn't know how to exit that habit or path, or the way you would be these behaviors, right? Well, because you didn't figure it out for yourself, here we are, your spiritual team, the universe put you in a position where now is the time to fix it, right? Tower is not bad. It crumbles. It's something that wasn't going to work out anyways. Better sooner than later. So let me get a third card and see what we've got here. Okay. Yeah, okay, so you got 2 cards. I'm going to take them as a message together. I'll lay them out in a second. I have at the bottom the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this is not gender specific. This is a kind of a more receptive energy on the Pentacles side. And it could be any gender, okay? Or a combination of genders. This queen is holding that pentacle, very stable, very secure, very sure, knows what they have, knows what they need, and it doesn't have to worry about that tower, because again, the foundation there is very stable, very rooted in the ground. Look at the pose, very rooted on the ground. So you have this 4 of Swords, right? Look at the storm in the tower and how it is being followed by that 4 of Swords, and I want to put those together because they matter. 4 of Swords is all about rest, recovery, healing. Okay, you see that tower crumbling down, leading into the 4 of Swords is a very, very positive energy. It is a step back to reassess, to regroup, to recuperate, and figure out what it is that you need to do. Your next move is going to be very slow, very calculated, very stable. 8 of Wands is very fast acting, information coming in. That is not the case. It's going to be a slow journey to that Queen of Pentacles, okay? It's going to be a slow journey to that Queen of Pentacles. If you try to move in haste, you will end up back in that tower. You have to slow down and just kind of take your time to rebuild whatever it is, the emotional, your emotional state, your mental state, your physical wellness, like your actual health. We're talking about health. Like if you've been a hard stop, that tower was a health scare. You haven't been living a sustainable lifestyle to support what your body needs, right? That could be the case. It's not always just about money. When we talk about the material plane, we could be talking about your body. That could be the temple that crumbled in one way or another. We could be talking about, relative to financial stability. We could be talking about a home. It could be various things that crumbled, that was unsustainable. But again, we see healing, especially if we're talking about your body. We see healing in a slow road, but a very stable road, right? And I don't want to say slow. I don't want to say slow. I hate using the word slow because people think, oh my gosh, slow years. I don't think it's years. Maybe weeks, maybe months. It's not the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is somebody that crashed and said, oop, I'm fine. Let me move on next week. That's not how healing works. It is someone that is in a financial hardship that a month later is like, whoa, I'm great. Let me go on vacation. You can't afford a vacation. You know what I mean? Like it's someone that is moving, getting all of the information that they need in the Eight of Wands very quickly, so you understand how the crash happened. You understand where you went wrong. You were able to assess and figure it out and really sit with it in the Four of Swords, but you also have the information now on how to kind of proceed, but you're not going to act in haste. You're going to move at a very calculated, strategic, healthy pace to become that Queen of Pentacles, okay? Like, it's gonna be fine. And if this is not where your headspace is, I'm telling you, this is where your headspace needs to be. If you try to be the Eight of Wands, it's gonna put you right back in the tower. Like, I'm not saying you can't gain information, you can't figure out what your next move should be, you can't plan, but you need to plan. It's not a let me get up and run. Queen of Pentacles is very stable, right? Notice that queen is sitting cross-legged with the coin. Like, I've got the coin, I'm holding it, I'm not gonna lose it, I'm going to take very good care of it, okay? My one coin that is the foundation of what is to come, okay? So let me get some oracle cards, and I'll shuffle, since this is a pile of shuffling. I understand why now, because again, this is a pile of collecting the information on what your next move should be. Must be the truth. I just dropped a lot of cards. Give me a second. This is a pile that says, let me gather my eggs, right? Gather my eggs. Okay. But again, lots of rest, lots of recovery. If you haven't been very kind to yourself, this is a period where you allow yourself to just feel and be kind to yourself. Like I said, it's relative to each story. If you've been overindulging, this is the point to add structure, pull back, and kind of give yourself where you've been lacking. Because anytime you overindulge, that's why I say you could be in both of the overindulging or being stingy with yourself. Anytime you overdo it in one way, you're lacking somewhere else. So this is the time to give where you're lacking. And if you've been where you've been lacking, this is the time to give to yourself there. And if you've been overextending, this is the time to pull back. That's unsustainable. The first card you have is the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. So that's what this recovery is. That's what this rest is. It is showing you that because the thing about the nines, they're very independent energy, and that Queen of Pentacles supports that. That Nine of Cups in reverse shows again an unbalanced version of that. And you don't have to be to yourself overindulging in one way, lacking in other ways, overextending to other people. You have people coming in, right? Soul tribe, that you need to support you beyond what this tower is. That foundation that was unsustainable is likely because it's something that you can't necessarily do on your own, or that it would be better and more beneficial if you had support in. And so it's all coming together. This I don't want to call it a hermit phase, but it may very well be. The Four of Swords and Queen of Pentacles kind of feels a little bit hermit-like, which is the Virgo card for me. But this tower kind of puts you in a position to find the people that are meant to support you. So especially if we're talking about that overextending, right? If you've been overextending, this tower was to allow you to know, like, these are not the people, or this is not the situation for you. There's a situation coming in, or a situation that you're stepping into that'll be more supportive of your needs in balance to other people's, right? So let me pull another card. What's that? You know what? I don't think I've seen this card. I may have seen this card one time. So I'm going to talk about the card that came out in a second. But I want to talk about the bottom first. So you have Leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. And I know it sounds opposite of what I said, that Tower card, that Eight of Wands, like moving in haste. It's not that you can't move, okay? It says you go first. Leap of faith. Take the leap when you know what you need to do. Like, there's an action that you have to take specifically that you need to do. When I say don't move in haste, I mean into those old patterns. Like, okay, if you crash, don't be quick to run around again like you have all this energy. If you crash financially, don't be quick to spend all of your money again and try to invest again. You understand what I'm saying? There's a move. It's like the leap that you need to take is likely opposite to what you've been doing, hence the Tower card, okay? So just make sure, despite that tower, that crash, that you're open to being successful in other ways, because the reason the crash happened is because you're on a path that is not the one you should be on, right? If that makes sense. So this is the card. I actually think it's really nice, right? Look at the flowers, everything. I haven't seen it maybe once, honestly. It says, fill up your well, retreat, rest, refuel. What did I say? Right? That's your main message. And it seems like it could counter with the leap, but it does not. We talked about the overextending. We talked about the overindulgence in one area and the lack in the other areas for yourself. It's time to switch it. Not switch it in, what's the word? In extreme amounts, right? You want to pull back from the overindulgence and feed where you've been lacking. But you don't want to become overindulgent in the area that you previously were lacking. So it's about balance, okay? It's about balance. But definitely, the first thing that you need to do, Pile 3, is heal, rest, and recover from whatever this is, whether we're talking about your physical body, right? You know, or we're talking about your finances. Pull back on how you've been spending, but still make sure you're nurturing yourself in the areas that you need to, especially where you've been lacking. Like if you haven't been eating appropriately, make sure you're eating more nutritious foods. Make sure financially, make sure you do pay your bills, but like don't maybe spend all of your disposable income, build up your savings, whatever it is that needs to happen, okay? So let me pull from this other deck. But this is calling you to have a bit of a low profile in certain areas of your life, okay? Especially where you've been overextending. Take that time to feed those other areas, okay? Cool. I do see once you make it through this healing and make it past this pulling back period, that leap of faith, that great gathering, that Queen of Pentacles, I mean, it's big. It's gonna be like a complete flip of where you were before the Tower. Like you're gonna realize, like, man, I was wilding back, you know, before whatever the Tower is. Like I was doing a lot and it was not sustainable. Like I'm living such a much better life because of whatever that Tower card is, whatever that pivotal moment was or pivotal situation was, really needed to put me on my back so that I could see how much more I could have, how much more I could be doing, how much better I could be. Okay? What's this? Exactly. So look at that. Look at how stable that is. Look at that foundation. And look at that. It's coming down from the sky. It says activated earth. Power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. So again, activated earth. A lot of this is material based. It is physical plane based. Whether we're talking about money, whether we're talking about your physical body, your health, something like that. It just, you know, and when I say like, it could be like, you know, we talked about in other piles, like professionalism, or it could be your business that you started. It could be something related to these things. But yeah, definitely physical with that Queen of Pentacles as the overview and that activated earth. Okay. All about foundations. And I've got my last card. Ooh, this is a block. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the card that actually came out in a second. But the bottom says, surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. So just because you got that Tower, doesn't mean that you can't have, right? The Nine of Cups reverse doesn't mean that you're not allowed to feel joy and pleasure. It's the opposite of that. It's showing that you've been doing that in all of the wrong ways, right? In an unsustainable way. You're meant to find your true sweetness, your true pleasure in life. Like, and you're going to see that post-Tower moment, okay? You're going to see that. You're going to be a lot more fulfilled, fill up your well after that with that activated earth. It's like where you've overindulged, you're going to pull back because you have to with that Tower card. That's the whole thing. Where you've overextended, you're going to have to pull back. But that's going to free up your resources, whether we're talking about mental, emotional, energetically, physically, to feed where you've been lacking, right? Make love to life, pleasure, joy, feel good, the things that you can feel good. And it really is because you haven't been rooting. You haven't been rooted with the Queen of Pentacles and the whole initiating of your reading with the Nine of Cups reverse. You haven't been rooted because this card came out in reverse, showing that it's been a struggle for you, but you have activated earth. And now look at this. Look at where this person is being dropped down to earth, right? Being dropped down to earth, a la Tower card, a la living out, moving beyond having your head in clouds, the physical plane, the plane of strategy, understanding how to move, right? Earth says learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. So far, thus far, you've been reverse of that, right? But this is where you're going to be, learning to be human in the world, learning to maneuver the world, learning to be financially responsible, learning to take care of your body, learning to maneuver the earth plane professionally, intellectually, in the connections that comes with it, with that soul tribe, okay? So that is all I have for you today, Pile 3. Hopefully it resonated. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.